Hi guys, is anybody on? Thursday night, last live for the week. Hi Aaron. Hi everyone. We give everyone about a minute. I usually start 7:01, 7:02, just for everybody who wants to join. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can fast forward a couple of minutes. I'm doing excellent. Thank you. Thank you for joining. My lives are always at the same time, Monday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to join me, I do take questions from the audience, but I generally have a script of questions that come up throughout the week. People email me or they leave them as comments on my video, and if I feel they benefit the general knowledge, I address them. We have a Facebook group as well, where we have a weekly challenge, and we share success stories. We have meditations. We have a lot of stuff going on if you want to check it out. But I suggest you check it out if you're doing the 60-day challenge, because with the 60-day challenge, you actually have the power to contribute to the rest of the group based on the instructions that I provide in the challenge. So we'll get going very shortly. It's everybody. I just want to make sure. Let's see here. Okay, I'm on. I also have a private Facebook live that's every other Saturday for my Facebook group. I finished and started the 60-day challenge again. If you start, don't start the next day. Give it a few days, give it a week in between for your energy to settle and reset, okay? Ideally, it started with a new moon or with a moon cycle that speaks to you. Only the new moon speaks to me. I don't do well with the full moon. For me, the full moon really, like, it's energy draining. I feel ungrateful, not being thankful to the universe for getting less than what I asked for. It's a program, Queen. It's a program. Yeah, take a few days in between if you're restarting the challenge. So I want to talk. Somebody emailed me a few goals that they put in this challenge, and I thought this would benefit everybody who's starting or restarting. So when you're setting the goals, I have 4 areas of life there: love, money, work, and body. And she's giving me examples of hers, and she's asking me for commentary on each. So I thought this would be very pertinent to the group, because everybody has to set their goals sort of at the top. Otherwise I wouldn't answer, because that would be like, I can't coach everybody privately, right? But I thought that if I just take one and give it as an example, it would benefit everyone. So she's saying, I have new goals for the 4 categories. This is a queen who's restarting the challenge. Would you let me know if these are okay, and if you can help me confirm my goals? Okay, so for love, she puts, I am in a happy and healthy relationship with a man who makes me feel safe, loved, and respected, and is someone I respect, trust, and I'm attracted to. So here's the thing, the goal is not bad, but the universe doesn't understand what you mean by a happy and healthy relationship. So when your goal is to be happy, please understand, only you can define what makes you happy. It's too loose. It's like going to a travel agency and saying, I want to travel, and not saying where, and not saying for how many people, and not saying, you know what I mean? This thing with feeling safe, loved, and respected, pay attention, okay? This is up to you, because what happens to women is they get in this relationships where they don't, at the first moment, in the first few weeks, the first couple of months, they don't feel that, yet they keep going. And even worse, they start to manifest their partner to embody these traits that these men don't have, right? So I wouldn't think of putting on my list, my partner makes me feel safe and respected, okay? Because you would kind of know that within the first 2 months of dating, while you're in your assessment mode. You know what I mean? Like, the universe is a partnership. It's you and the universe together, right? So the universe is giving you what could be possible matches, but you along the way have to filter through them, right? So the universe does no filtering. It just returns what you believe. So I want you to pay very, very close attention. I would be much more detailed on my love goal. So for example, if you want to get married, just say, I would like to be married. But that's only if you know yourself that you would marry only a man who would embody those traits. If you are not sure, I suggest you make a list of traits that this man must embody. And within those traits, you know, you want to make sure you say, I am 100% convinced I want to marry him. We're super sure about each other, etc. Something along those lines, okay? Money. She says, I have multiple sources of income every month and I never worry about money. There's no such thing as never worrying about money. I did 2 or 3 videos on money this week. So I want to say, like, everybody worries about money. The rich worry about their return on their money, on the interest that they're paying on their debt, because all the rich have a lot of debt, right? They use money to invest and to grow. Everybody worries about money. They worry where their money gets spent, even if they have. So this idea that you want to be indifferent to money, it doesn't exist. Like I said in a video from last week, I think the only people who are indifferent from money, who are financially free, people who are in jail, people who are in mental institutions, people who are otherwise just, they've been freed from the burden of you know, having to think about money. Right? So don't put this as the goal. I don't want to worry about money. I have multiple sources of income every month is a great goal for money. Leave the feeling alone, like in regards to money. Just don't wish to be indifferent to money. Work, she says, I have a career that pays me more than my last job and I have a lot more free time to do philanthropy, personal development, and traveling. So for work, do not worry about, I have more free time for what? Okay, because you're going to this, it's too complex. You're going to decide what you're going to do once you have this free time, right? So I had a simple goal years ago. And my goal was this year I'm going to make more money than last year and I'm going to have a lot more free time, or 60% more free time, or 40% more free time, or something like this, without saying what I'm going to do with that time. Keep it more simple. While in relationships, because relationships have so much to do with personal happiness, right? You have to be very, very descriptive of what you want. I find that with money and career, if you keep it simple, the universe finds a very quick way to fill that gap, right? Because a work that's, you know, 4 days a week versus 5-6 days a week, it's easy to understand. That's what you want. Okay. And then body, for body, she says, I'm strong and healthy and I'm looking at least 10 years younger than my age. Perfect. And then your daily affirmations would be around, my cells always renew, you know, even if you want to say like at a rate of a child, right? Because they have fast renewals of cells. My skin is so strong and subtle. It's tight. It's wrinkle free. It's smooth. I get compliments all the time on my skin. I can run. So just keep everything in the lifestyle of the person that has a strong and healthy body. Okay. Somebody asked me what I think about dating apps just now. I think I saw this comment. She says she's exhausted. I have several videos on online dating and I think I put more of them on my Insta. I don't really think there is a more viable way to meet somebody than online dating. Unfortunately, people have lost this social skill of being in touch. So, you know, what I think is if you're doing it right. Okay, so, you know, I'm getting married from online dating. I have a friend who's gotten married from online dating. The people that I coach are able to successfully online. And what does it mean successful? It's not a guarantee you'll find a husband, but it's a guarantee you won't be emotionally impacted and you won't waste your time. So you want to minimize the emotional impact and the time wasting on the dating apps. And, you know, I have several videos on how to do it and I've coached people on how to do it. How long have you been practicing manifestation intentionally? Super intentionally, I would say about 3 years. And before I was practicing it, but not fully understanding the extent of it. But, you know, sort of as more and more things came forth in my life and I started to make the connection and I started to read more and everything, I would say super intentionally over the last 3 years. But I've been manifesting things that I have noticed since I want to say 2014, 2015, but I remember episodes as a child where I was manifesting unconsciously, just based on my thoughts. I used to lie about a lot of things as a child, and I would notice those things would come true. I'm talking about a child 8, 9 years old, right? And I didn't understand I was manifesting them that way, but this is what was happening. So I want to move on to talk about money because it's such a hot topic. I've done videos on it. There's a lot of comments on the topic of money, and I want to make sure I address it. So I did a video that the universe doesn't understand money numbers. Okay, we give things value based on our internal feelings and value. Okay, as a society, even, right? This is why a house can cost 800 grand today, and then in 6 months from now, when the interest rates go up and the fear is introduced, it's worth 650,000, right? So what happened? When you ask the universe, I want 800 grand because I want to buy my house, but that's not the value of the house that's going to be tomorrow. You know what I mean? So this is why the way we associate whatever we desire to do with that money, with the value of money, the universe doesn't understand that. So it's best if you put it out there as to what you want to do with that money, and script about what you want to do with that money as you already have it, right? And it doesn't really matter don't feel bad about your script. Don't feel bad if you want a Chanel bag versus you want to help the poor, right? You just have to be very descriptive. I don't understand these things with Chanel bags. I have none, but I know a lot of people love expensive bags, and don't feel bad about what you want. You want what you want, and that's okay. Let's see. Do you think it makes sense to manifest working at a specific company, or should we stay open? I don't think it makes sense to manifest working at a specific company. I think you should stay focused on what values within that company you value that you want to work there for, right? So if you want to work for a big company, there's a reason you want to work for a big company. If you want to work for technology company, you want to work for a technology company for a reason, right? If you want to work, it's really the values of the company and how you can advance within that company. This is why you want to work at that specific company. Work less, earn same or more, have more free time is my new mantra. Exactly. I want to work less than last year and make more. Keep it simple. Keep it very, very simple for the universe. Unless you're talking about love. When you're talking about love, just be descriptive on how you feel every day. What you value in this person. What you bring to his life. Right? So don't do it just one-sided. Just say, I know I can be a good wife. I am a good wife. I'm a wife who's not married yet. So definitely keep it very, very simple. I get paid to exist, Carla says. I love it. I love it. Okay, stop. I did another video to stop glorifying poverty because, somebody left me just a Bible quote there, and, don't challenge me on the Bible because, I read it I'm looking for esoteric meaning, and there's a lot of it. There's a lot of esoteric meaning in the Bible. So anyways, I am 100% convinced our Creator didn't put us here to punish us, and He's at a lot higher consciousness level than to want something like that, and to want a hard life for us. And it's very, very clear in the Bible that we have everything we need, and more access is given if we just have faith. Okay? If you want to pay off a loan, do you ask for the money for that or just pay it off? So I did a video on that today, and it's really important. Okay? And I was saying, when you have debt, and a lot of people have such stress and anxiety over any amount of debt, right? Like from $1,000 to $100,000. And what happens is you are focused on the absence of money. It's like a black hole, right? Like it's not only the absence of money, it's deeper than that, right? It's literally a black hole, right? So when you're in the positive, maybe you're at zero, and then here you have the debt, right? So in this black hole of debt, you can't be focused on the positive because your mind is on the debt. So your mind is on the debt, you're not manifesting anything good. So I was giving the example, somebody said to me, he was kind of like a boss of mine from back in the day, but he told me something I'll never forget, and hopefully you guys can remember this. He said, Mona, when you focus on the revenue, the expenses take care of themselves. And this is so true. Okay, I took that to heart, and I was like, I started to observe myself. And every time I was thinking about the expenses, I wasn't thinking about the revenue. And every time I focused on the revenue, somehow there was enough money to pay for all the expenses. You see what I mean? Like, there's no way you're focusing on the revenue. There's no way you have time to say, I want to contribute today. I want a new source via which money can flow to me. Okay. If you're thinking about your bills, if you're thinking, how am I going to pay this, $100,000 in debt? How am I going to make the minimum payments on this and that? So focus on the revenue, and the expenses will take care of themselves. Is the best advice I've ever received in regards to expenses and debt. I want you to really think about this. Aaron says, I've always had this feeling that my debt will be taken care of and I'm pretty much debt free. Yeah. Have you tried those 8 hours affirmation type subliminal videos on YouTube? No, I don't have time for that. And at night, I can't listen to anything in my ears. I need total quiet. I've tried robotic affirmations a few years ago, and they gave me a massive headache. I tried it twice, and then I was like, I'm not doing this. There's a robotic voice and it says the same thing over and over again. I hated that. And I didn't feel like I could just disconnect from, I felt like it was a thing I had to do, like doing the laundry. And I wasn't able to detach my consciousness and actually relax and connect to the infinite doing robotic affirmations. I think like anything that's task oriented, like you got to do 8 hours of this, and it just drives people nuts. I actually coached somebody. She said, I do 4 to 5 hours. Like I take 4 to 5 hours on my day just for affirmations. But she was doing this for 2 years and nothing was different. So, you know what I mean? When you look at it as I gotta spend that time, it's almost like a payment that you're effectuating to the universe, saying, I'm gonna spend this time just paying and you better reward me. So that's not my philosophy at all in my approach to the work and manifestation. Somebody left this comment on one of my money videos, and he said, thank you, Mona Khad, for changing my perception about money. I asked for $10,000 in unexpected money and it manifested in 2 weeks. And guess what I told him? I told him, normalize this. Normalize this, because this is how it works, okay? Don't be like, when you hear a story like this, don't be like, wow, oh my God. How'd you do it? Just immediately in your mind think this is normal. It is normal to ask and to receive. And if the information vibrates with you, it might not click the first time, it might not click the second time. But if you listen to the same information over and over again, it will eventually click. Okay, it will, just don't do it the repetitive kind or what have you, because then you get sick of it. But if it's somebody who can present the idea 10 different ways, it's kind of the same idea, but it's 10 different ways. And one of those ways is going to click with your subconscious. You know what I mean? And then you're going to make this kind of breakthroughs. So normalize, normalize, normalize. So, and if you want faster results, raise your certainty. Right? Raise your certainty. One day, one video, one book, something will speak to you. And when you find that click, okay, I get a lot of these comments, oh, something you said just made it click for me. When you have this click, milk it. Milk it, being like, I'm here now. Can feel connected. One of the ways one of my one-on-one coaching clients described it as, she goes like, when I'm online, this and this and that, and the days I'm not online, this happens. She means like online, like connected to source, right? But I really like that expression, when I'm online, so when something clicks, you're online. When you're online, it's time to milk it. It's time to explore what's out there. It's time to think, okay, I'm on now, so what's happening now? When you're not on, okay, even I have those days when you're not on, don't do anything, just focus on 3D. Okay, when I'm not on, I focus on other tasks, life. Maybe that's the time to see a friend, have a coffee, do the laundry. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't force it. There's days when, probably we're supposed to experience just the 3D. So be prepared for that, and it's absolutely fine. Still do everything in the morning, the routine that we have in the 60-day challenge, and then just, let go and see what happens. So somebody emailed me and said, I watched the video that you uploaded on how the universe doesn't understand any amount that we ask for. And watching the live from this week, I'm still a bit confused, she says. You say that money follows the goal. My question is as follows. If I have completely no idea what exactly my goal is in regards to money, what should I do? Like, I have no idea how this money is supposed to come to me. Is it still all right if I put a specific amount as a goal and forget about it? Or should I modify the goal itself to include something else beside the amount? Could you elaborate on this? Okay, so this is a good question, but there's two questions here. She's saying, if I completely have no idea what exactly my goal is in regards to money, what should I do? In this scenario, you just have to think about what brings you joy. And what brings you joy is things and experiences, or perhaps experiences you want to offer others that can be bought with money. And so make those your goal if you don't yet have a goal, like specific goal in mind, right? And then she's saying, is it all right if I put the specific amount as a goal and forget about it, or should I modify the goal to include something else beside the amount? I said, for me and for other people I've observed, manifesting a specific amount of money is not necessarily, if it's not backed by something you need to do with that money or you want to do with that money, it doesn't work as well. So you can always find something that you do with that money, whatever that money is. This is why you should start smaller, okay? Don't put $20 million because, like I explained, it's hard to spend that in your mind, or it's hard to think now today how you would invest it. Start like that king was saying, ask for 10K in unexpected money. I'm sure he had something to do with 10K. Yeah, it sounds very specific. And think what would you do with it? Right? What would you use? Always use when you get unexpected money, this is an important point. Use a percentage of that to satisfy something that you want. Okay? Because you got to reward your person for having obtained that money. So if you get extra 10K, don't use it all to pay that. Say, I'm keeping, 5%, $500. I'm going to spend on me. Or keep 2%, $200. I'm just going to take some money and be like, I've done really good now. This is rewarding. And of course, it's even better if you can give to others as well, or do something for others, but always take a small portion and do something different. All right. Any questions in regards to money before I move on from money? Let's see. How do we ask the universe for money? Please watch my videos on money manifestation. I just want to make sure I stay on topic on the comments that I take. No more questions about money? Everybody has a lot of money? I love that. All right. I'm going to move on to, okay, I guess there's a lot of questions about money after all. I want to create a business and I don't know where to begin. You have to begin where your joy is. We all know what brings us joy. A lot of it is like we bury deep inside, because what we've done is this association of, if I'm making money, I have to do something I don't like. That's why people saying, I have to go to work, And they ask you from, grade school or high school, what is it? Here's the professions, here how much they're paying, and how much do you want to make, and what kind of life do you want to have? And that's how you choose your profession. You don't choose it on passion anymore. And because of that, you make the association that money is associated with doing something you don't like. Thank you. I asked for more money and now I'm working 3 jobs. I love the money, but I'm exhausted. Yeah, so it goes back to my point. You have to tie it with, I work less and I make more. If you just ask for more money, the universe will find the easiest way to bring it to you. It just give you 2 more jobs. Right? Let's see. I want to receive money while discover the right job. All right. So let's move on to SP and the subconscious. And I have an email questions, and I think this applies because it's very important that you make this association with the dreams I talk about dreams a lot. They're very, very important in discovering your subconscious beliefs. So this queen says, I decided what I want and also what I don't want. I have absolute clarity. I want my new SP. So when she started this challenge, she wanted her old SP, okay? And now she's like almost done with the challenge, or her second round of the challenge, and she wants a new SP. My old SP of 11 years, who I thought was the love of my life, I don't want him back. Truly not. Even not if he would act perfectly and fulfill my every wish, but he broke my heart. I am done with him and our story. I appreciate him as a human, but I don't want him as my man. When he comes to my mind, I just think, okay, cool, but I don't want him. He can do whatever he wants and it's okay with me. But I know he can't forget me, etc. So anyways, she says, I dreamt of him asking me to come back, being incredibly sweet and attentive, doing everything what I wanted, and just asked me to stay with him because he realized he wants to be with me. In my dream, I did it like this, but I was aware that it's not what I want. I felt in my dream exactly like I would feel in real life. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so she probably had a very vivid dream. And then she's saying, then after that, I had the most beautiful visualization scene with my new SP. I had shivers. It was so incredible. And I had to write it down afterwards because it happened. Okay, so she's saying she realized consciously she doesn't want this SP, the old SP, who broke her heart, 11 years of pain. Or back and forth, and then she dreamt of him satisfying the exact life that she wanted out of him. So I want you guys to pay attention. It is important. Our dreams are always telling us sort of where we're at, what our fears, and what's going on in the subconscious mind. So what's happening for her is very simple, right? Because she's working with this new self-concept and she's raised her awareness. I'm pretty sure it's her second time through the challenge. And she's raised her image. She manifested this new SP. Everything is great in her life. But there is this unresolved issue of this girl that's been hurt and that's been subjected to 11 years of back and forth from this man. And that girl, right, sort of doesn't match this new woman that she is. Okay, so the subconscious is trying to reconcile this two self-images. And I want you to pay attention if you dream, the context of your dream about your SP. If it's still painful, if it's still like, and it's a man who broke your heart, who consciously you don't want back, he cheated on you, etc. But he's resurfacing, then it's a pain that you have. But if you have a beautiful dream about them, it doesn't mean you should be with them. That's your subconscious reconciling the old with the new, right? So in her mind, the subconscious decided, that was not the story. This is not my story. My story is, he came back. He's incredibly sweet, attentive, doing everything I want. So the subconscious needs to satisfy itself in this new image. So Queen, overall, this dream is extremely positive. It's extremely great that you had this dream. And it's telling me that you really must move on and your subconscious is satisfied with this new person that you are and is no longer struggling to allow you to move forward. Okay? So, I know a lot of people has SPs and I have a whole playlist on SPs and how to handle it and how to think about it. And I always suggest never focus on an exact person. Okay? Never desire a person as if they are an object, as if, I must have John Smith. Stay focused on you, on what's, on the relationship description that we talked about. I'm feeling amazing every day. He wakes me up with kisses. He has plenty of time for me. Be very, very specific on what you want. He protects me. He provides for me. He only has eyes for me. I'm the only one on his mind. Things like that. Okay? Do not think specifically of a specific person. This is my approach. I'm describing in all my videos as to why that is. And, I just want to make sure we're on the same page if you're working with me and if you're working with this group, because you can avoid a lot of pain. Why does that happen, that you no longer want your SP and now you want a new SP? Because you've changed inside. And that's the whole goal of this work. You won't be able, by the way, it's not going to be just the SP that drops, right? Like there will be a lot of people in your life you no longer vibrate with. A lot of like old friends. You know, I have somebody who wrote to me, says, I broke off a 30-year friendship halfway through this work because I just saw the real her. I don't know. I just can't stand her anymore. My husband was very pessimistic, but I went on 1 week trip without him, and when I came back, he's now more positive and we see eye to eye more. Exactly. Focus on you. How do I manifest small manifestation like $100 in a few days? Oh my God, I am so don't put a few days on it. I'm a very literal manifester. I set out to manifest $100 bills on the street, and one summer I got 3 of them. One $100 bill was not in my country's currency, was not Canadian money. It was like some Persian money or something, but it looked the same. I have a video on it. Then I manifested 2 more $100 bills that summer, and then I realized, you know what, this money is coming out of somebody else's pocket, you know, so I don't want it that way. When I had this thought, I never ever manifested a penny on the street again. So it's all sponsored by your beliefs, you know what I mean? It is $100, you have to minimize its importance to the point that, you know, it's so unimportant you can find it on the street. It's not rare. It's just so unimportant. You can get it out of anywhere. Guys, any goal you have, the more importance you place on it, the more distance you place between yourself and that goal. And it doesn't matter if it's $100 or $1 million or your SP or your dream job or whatever it is. Because what manifests is not your desire. It's your relationship with your goal. That's what manifests in your life, right? My SP is coming back, but not fully evolved. I'm holding boundaries until he comes back, correct? So, you know, Queen, your boundaries have to be so defined, especially if your SP is an ex who's coming back. I can't overstress this enough, okay? Because if he comes back and he meets a new you and you're over here compared to where you were over here, the moment she drops from over here to more in line to what she was, he will be reminded as to why he broke up with you. Okay, this is important. If you know, there was things in you, your insecurities, your fears that sort of manifested that outcome, and he's not just a jerk, because again, some people are just jerks, okay? This is not enough that you couldn't change enough to make them be different. But if you know it was you, your insecurities, you tolerated the intolerable and you kind of trained him a certain way, and now you want to change that, that's fine. When he comes back, you can never drop back to the level of making compromises, okay? Just be honest about what you want. That's why I advise all women, just be very, very honest about what you want. And if he's not in line with what you want, do not go for it. Do not go for half measures, ever. Okay, it's going to make you unhappy. Like, compromise is sort of heartbreak postponed, or it's heartbreak throughout for the long term. You know, every time you compromise, it just attracts more compromise, and it kills something inside of you. Let's see. How do you learn to become in touch with your core beliefs? If by core beliefs you mean what you already have, you have to analyze why you do the things you do and why you think the things you think. Is it your thoughts or somebody else's thoughts? Why do you do things the way you do? Why do you look at your phone a certain number of times? Why do you answer people a certain way? Why do you feel, I don't know, fear or rejection when you go, talk to your boss or on a date? You really have to identify why is it that you function the way you function. I mean, this is not something that can be done in an hour or 5 minutes. You have to track yourself over the course of a longer period of time and understand yourself. And those are your core beliefs. Now, some of your core beliefs may not work in your favor. Those are the limiting beliefs. When they don't work in your favor, it's up to you to change them. It's up to you to understand a belief is just a thought that's reinforced enough times. If you think the same thought enough times, it's a belief, and that belief will manifest. So if you mean, how do you learn to become in touch with your core beliefs as to the person that you want to be? That's a different question, right? So you have to define the core beliefs that you want to have, but you cannot place them on top of the old ones. You have to eject the old ones first. And in order to eject them is you have to track them, track all your triggers, track everything that bothers you. Ask yourself, is this really that important? Like, why does it bother me that, my mom said, like, I'm an adult. Why does it bother me? Is this thing actually, like, what's being triggered right now inside of me? Do I have the need to be perfect in front of my mother? And when she criticizes me, why is her opinion relevant when I'm an adult? You know what I mean? That would be an example. Let's see. I just want to make sure I take pertinent comments. What happens when you can't remember your dreams? You have to ask to remember your dreams. You have to don't be on your phone. Practical tips. Don't watch movies before you go to sleep. Have a practice where you're just you and yourself, and you talk to yourself inside your head or out loud and just say, I want to remember. I want to know what's going on inside. I have the right to access this information. I'm clarified now from the day, from the work. I want to understand me. We're not taught to do this, guys. And this is actually the most important thing in life, is to understand yourself and why you do the things you do. Because if you don't, you can never change it. And the same beliefs lead to the same results and to the same life. This is what manifestation is all about. And I don't think people are, teaching it correctly or have understood it correctly, because what most people do is they manifest things. It's like a fluke. You can change your mind and you can gain confidence just by watching a video. But then if you can't sustain that confidence, you'll go back to the woman that you used to be very quickly. And you're like, why did he leave me again? I manifested him back. Well, you haven't really changed. If a large sum of money comes from a tragedy like an accident or family death, how to avoid that? I have a video on it that I've done maybe like within the last week. But basically, if your intention isn't, like, if you want the money above all other things, and if you don't hold everybody in the light, and if you don't say with harm to none and for the good of all, and I really don't want this if it's, under negative circumstances, if you want the goodness of others, you have to train yourself to want the goodness of others, then you won't manifest it in a tragedy. But, go through my content, because I have content about this. Limiting beliefs keeps cropping up. How do I fix this? I've done a lot of shadow work and counseling. To me, shadow work and counseling is a lot of reinforcement of your limiting beliefs. But, don't quote me on this, because therapists won't like me. I've done no therapy ever. I don't want to stay in the mindset of the victimhood mindset. It's a decision and a choice. Is not easy, okay? Again, I don't want to speak generally because I haven't experienced trauma like abuse or anything like that. And I understand for that. It's sort of a different scenario. But yeah, I've experienced heartbreak. Everybody over, the age of 20 has, right? Who hasn't? Who hasn't been hurt, guys? Like, who on this life hasn't been hurt? It's a choice. Am I going to stay there or not? I'm not. Okay? It's not. Choose not to. Choose not to. And everything that comes up from inside of you, choose to understand it. What is this? Why is this jealousy inside of me? Oh, it's because I want the same things, but I deserve the same things. And convince yourself. It has nothing to do with this other person. Just because she has it doesn't mean I can't have it, She's got her own path. The pie is infinite. It's not like a small pie. And she got a good man. That means there's one less good man for me. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work. You don't compete, you create. Right? And see what else creeps up. Hatred, right? Why do I hate this person? What is it about? You guys, ideally, you wouldn't hate anyone, right? So, how much does the planting take? I really want to see my life change, but time passes the same. Your life, if you have definitive goals, your life should manifest in a reasonable amount of time. Okay, if you don't have goals like, oh, I want to get $50 million, that's completely different goal than I want to get married. If you want to get married, you should meet someone and be engaged within 18 months to 2 years at the most, right? Because that's a reasonable time frame for anyone's mind to believe that this is possible. So if it's possible for another woman in that time frame, it's possible for you. So if they're not manifesting within the time frame that you give it, or a job search, right? You should have a job within, at the most, 6 months, right? At the most, maybe 3 months. Maybe if it's a dream job, within 9 months. But it shouldn't be like 2 years of unemployment. There's something wrong there. Something wrong. So I want you guys to have realistic goals and realistic for you, right? Realistic. So don't go super big, because you need wins. You need to train your brain that this is how it works. And if you're not training your brain, this is how it works. If you're still waiting for that big thing, for that big goal, for, like $100 million, well, you just be waiting. And then your brain is like, oh, I'm not getting this. And because you're not seeing results, more fear and anxiety is going inside your brain. This is why I want you guys to stay with the group. This is why I show up for you guys, not once in a while, not like randomly, but at exactly same time. I want you to train your brain to be very disciplined about this work. Okay, if I can show up here and be here for everybody, then this is your time to do this work. This is the time where you don't check your phone, where you just sit and understand. Now it's your learning time, it's your understanding time. Okay, and after this, when we have the group manifestations, when you get into the group energy and you have a challenge and you start manifesting the old challenges, it's sort of bringing your awareness back. It's like, oh, I've seen a pink flamingo. Oh, this was the group chat. Oh, okay, that time I'm doing the work. Yes, me in that. So you remind yourself. You have to have consistency in this work. That's my point. I'm on unemployment, but going to school. I'm manifesting 6,000 a month. Okay, it's fine to acknowledge where you're at. And it's fine to acknowledge where you're going. Remember, you have to take inspired action from here on out. And you have to see yourself as a person who's capable of earning, who's worthy of earning $6,000. When I've done this exercise, a specific amount of money, I set my goal like, I'm so happy this happened, okay? Because I was making about 150 and I was like, I'm going to make 600. My brain was like, no, you can't do that. And I was like, you know what, forget this. Because I knew the self-image would require so much work. And that's when I said, forget this. Next year, I'll just make more than I made this year and I'll work less. And that's exactly what happened, and I was happy with that, right? Because to me, the self-image to make 600 grand a year, plus I had this fear that people make that amount work a lot, which I hated. I didn't want to work even more, right? So make sure, what do you associate with somebody who makes 6 grand a month? What is their schedule? What is it you like about it? What is it you don't like about it? You really have to think about these things, because it's easy to say, I make like 20 grand a month. I make like 30 grand a month, but what does that involve? What do you have to give to earn that amount of money? And are you prepared and are you worthy? Can you explain inspired action? Yeah, I explained it a few times and I'm going to keep explaining it because it's important. If you have a true intention, that's not a desire. That's not something you see yourself. It's like, I am going to do it. Okay? And right now, so the intention is the decision, the determination to have and to act. There's 2 parts to intention, to have and to act. Like this queen says. I have a job that pays $6,000 a month. Okay? I don't know how I'm going to get it. I don't know when I'm going to get it. So far, it has to be within a reasonable time frame. But I know I have it. And I am going to open all avenues to make this happen. I'm going to put my resume online. I'm going to apply to jobs. I'm going to put a LinkedIn message. Hey guys, I'm available to work. Whatever it is that you do in whatever it's applicable to you. Or if you're dating, you're going to open an online dating account. You're going to be nicer to people. When you see them, you're going to smile, just look available. You're going to open all avenues. Okay? And then when something happens that's out of the ordinary, when you get a call, when you get an email, when somebody smiles, but when somebody asks you, if you're not usually asked, hey, what kind of coffee do you drink? Or what do you, that's your prompt. It's your prompt to act. It's if the universe offers you something new, it's your prompt to offer back something new. This is what inspired action is. Okay. And you can't see it. You can't see it, I don't know how much I want to talk about my personal life, but it happened to me. One of the prominent ones was, it was literally like I needed much more money than I had for the down payment on the house. And I literally got an incoming call from a person that wasn't even qualified. Like, I never heard of them before, and I had been in the business for long. I never heard of them. And I was like, okay, incoming call. I'm gonna maybe give these people a chance. And via the business opportunity that was presented, I was able to have that. You know what I mean? That's all I'm going to say. But the idea is, if I acted in my old ways, which would have been like, I don't know this person, I don't know if it's like qualified to do business with us, do you know what I mean? Like, then I would just have the same thing that I've always had, right? The same income, the same thing. But because I put this manifestation as to, I need, much more money than I have now to have the down payment for this place that I want, and I envision myself in this place. Now I have to act on the prompts from the universe when they're not what I'm used to. I hope that makes sense. Okay. I think we're up to speed. I have a very interesting question about gratitude. So this queen says, I actually promised her that I would talk about it last week and I forgot. So this queen says, I have a question on your vision of the effects of gratitude. If I'm trying to manifest a gift and feel gratitude and normalize it being mine before I receive it, which option is more likely to happen? This is an analytical person. Option 1, since you already have the feeling of gratitude and normalize it being yours, source has no choice but to give it to you or to guide you towards it. This is the classical approach. Number 2, she says, since you are already feeling gratitude and normalize it being yours, source considers you already have it, so it doesn't need to give it to you anymore. One second. Okay. I would have said option 1, but I saw one of your video where you said gratitude is an instruction that you received what you ordered and potentially cancel the remaining of the order. So I want to make sure. Also, if I feel gratitude for my current life, does it mean I'm canceling my orders to get something even better? So what I want to say about gratitude is this. Gratitude is an instruction in the universe as to, I want more of this. But the problem she's describing here is when you're grateful for the things you actually have in life, like your children, like a good date, your husband, your house, right? You're saying amplify these. So this is easy to understand. This gratitude should not sort of be the same type of gratitude that you would have towards things you haven't yet received, because she's right? She's saying, since you are feeling gratitude and normalize it being yours, source considers you already have it, so it doesn't need to give it to you anymore. I'm going to give you an example. I knew this woman years ago, okay? She was desperate to be a mother and to have children, but her best friend had 2 children and she was acting as she was the mother of these children, okay? She was always there, bathing them, loving them, buying them gifts. The kids are all over her. And I thought this exact same thing. I was like, this, and she saw herself with 2 kids. And I remember thinking this maybe 10 years ago. And I tell you, she's still single to this day, okay? Now, those kids are teens now. And she just treated those kids with this love of a mother. Okay, she was very close with her best friend. And I always thought, my God, these are the 2 kids that she always wanted, right? Sorry, guys, don't call me. I don't take calls during my live. I don't know how to block that from the beginning, so there's no calls. Anyways, so the gratitude you have to employ for the things you haven't yet received should not be the same type of gratitude than for the things you already have, right? So you don't give that instruction of really, it's a very fine balance. She's right, and I didn't talk about this, but I do believe that if you're actually in that delusion, okay, of complete, and this is what happens to mental patients, right? When they're in the hospitals, they think they're Napoleon, or they live a life that they already live. The universe is never going to fulfill that, right? It's never going to fulfill that because it's so real for them that this is their world. You have to keep somehow a separation of gratitude and to understand that, it, and I think it has to do with time, right? Time as it passes by linearly, you have to understand that somehow you haven't yet experienced that moment in physical time. You have to understand that moment exists and it's a possibility for you and it's already been created for you. And all you have to do is become aware of it. But it hasn't happened yet. You're grateful for the possibility. This is what it is. You're grateful for this possibility of it happening versus I've already received it. Do you see the difference? I hope this is clear for everybody. You guys, do you have any questions on that? I'm just trying to I don't like when people get on the lives and interrupt me. I thought my moderator was on also, but yeah, I know this is a confusing topic, but I'm telling you, the only way I would be able to explain this, the way I've done it, okay, is it doesn't feel, the image in your mind and what you speak about can be in the current tense, but it doesn't have the materialistic quality of the experience that I'm having right now as I'm touching my computer. And I'm keeping that differentiation, okay? Because if I were really in a world where I could touch and feel these things, like somebody who's insane in an asylum, that reality would never manifest for me because it's already there. Okay, Abraham Hicks makes a distinction between gratitude and appreciation. Appreciation is preferred. Yeah, because I really think there's this misunderstanding. But the reason it's not really important is that very, very few people can achieve this level of gratitude where they have so much gratitude for having received something before they already have it. So don't worry about making this mistake. Okay, unless you're like in this woman case that I gave in the example, that those children were really hers. Okay, she loved them as she would have her own. Like it was just like that. I knew it. Okay, and she would worry about them when they were sick, and she would be like, unless you're at that level. But most people don't have this capacity anyway, so you don't need to worry about it. Okay. But the distinction between gratitude and appreciation is important. Thank you, Sandra. All right. I'm going to move on to practical tips. I only have one because I got one question. If you guys have practical questions about dating and, I like to help mostly women with the practical tips of life. And I want, if you're stuck on something, the practicality of something that's in the way of how things unfold, or you think it's in the way, you can ask, or you don't know how to proceed forward, just send me a note or put a comment and I will take it up. So this queen says, because I done a video on online dating, and she says, what do you respond if you send a suggestion of a restaurant and he replies that he is broke? He replies, I'd love to, but I'm broke. So here's the thing, because, it doesn't even seem to me like this would be a question, right? But you as women, and I'm talking to women now, you have to have a very clear vision as to why it is you are dating. And that vision can be anything, okay? It can be anything you want. Like, for example, after I got divorced, I didn't want anything, I didn't want to find a man or boyfriend. I didn't want to introduce my child to anybody for years, okay? All I wanted is, I didn't feel seen in my marriage, and now I wanted to be seen. I wanted to go on dates, and I wanted to just experience that part of dating where, people would love to converse with me, would have dinner, and I didn't want to give them anything. I didn't want to touch them. I just wanted to have that conversation and be admired. This was my goal, and it was very defined. And it didn't matter that I met some really great guys at the time, really great men who actually wanted to get remarried and stuff. I wasn't there. And I wasn't, and I was seeing people for 2 or 3 dates maximum, because afterwards you kind of have to get physical, and I wasn't interested in that. That's all I did for a year, because that was my dating goal. Okay? If your dating goal is to get married, which became my goal later on, right? Then I took a completely different approach. But the goal, you have to date with a goal in mind, right? So if this queen says, I'm dating, she's not saying why she's dating, but if she's sending a suggestion of a restaurant, and he replies that he is broke, this person, I don't think he should be dating in general, okay? Seems like an easy block and delete. But if she's asking me this question, perhaps she's asking me, can I work with something like this? And I think the problem, queen, is like, I don't even want to go there and tell you, can you work with something like this? What is it that you're looking for? You're looking for a husband? This guy can't be one. You're looking to, like what I said about me, to be admired, seen, taken out, and be told you're beautiful. This guy can't do that, right? Are you looking for just a guy to have on your Rolodex? Maybe he's a safe guy, he's a nice guy, and once in a while something breaks in your apartment and you want to have somebody on the Rolodex to just call and be like, hey, can you come fix my light bulb? Then this is the guy for you, maybe, but you don't need to date him. You know what I'm saying? Like, the question itself, it's just like, under what circumstance would I need a man who is broke? I would think that's the only circumstance. Like, if I want to keep somebody in my contacts that I feel safe with, or he's a nice guy, and like maybe I just need a partner who motivates me to walk in the park once in a while, and this is a person I'm trying to think under what condition you would ask the question if you can work with this guy who's broke. You know what I mean? And I don't want to put this queen down. I'm saying, please, why are you dating? It's important. And does he fit the job description you have for this man that you're going to introduce in your life? I don't think any broke man does, but I'm trying to be generous and say, maybe if you need the light bulb thing, get it? Nobody got time for broke men. Oh my God. You guys have any other questions? This was the whole material that I had for tonight. And if you don't, I'm back on Monday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And every day I'm on my Facebook group. I'm in touch with my Facebook group. By the way, this week we're manifesting money, and we already had money manifestation stories. I want to shift timelines. So I have a video coming up about timelines. I filmed it today, but I think I'm going to post it tomorrow. It's about quantum possibilities and what we understand by timelines and jumping and lifelines. Do you have to restart the challenge every time you change your goals? I suggest that you do, yes, because that means something shifted inside of you, that you want something else, and new prompts and new affirmations should come to you. Any tips if I don't have Facebook? Any tips about what? I received $300 unexpectedly today. Yeah, well, Queen, you've been with us for so long, right? Like, it's you're going to tap into the group energy. So this week we're manifesting unexpected money again. So the amount, I didn't put an amount on it. I just want people to manifest money, because we're in receive mode, right? Between now and Christmas, I said we're in receive mode. So can I start the challenge midday? You mean do your entries midday? I suggest doing them in the morning, because by midday you're already caught up with stuff that's going on in 3D. By the way, when you get this challenge, okay, and when you decide to do this work, when you get it, when you purchase it, don't start it the same day. Just ask for guidance that night. Just say, I purchased this. I'm committed to working on myself. What is it that I need to see? How can my energy system be reset such that when I start this, it's very beneficial for me? Okay? Learn already. to talk to the universe. If I want to join by no Facebook, I don't have any other group resources, Queen. I can't be all over the place. Is it okay to end the day with an entry? Sure. Okay. Merlina, but you manifested during those 20 days that you were doing the challenge. You got quite a few things. That's why you restarted. So I think this context is important to understand. You get to day 20, you've manifested what you want, but it's not really exactly, you know, you're like, oh, maybe I said my goal is too small. This is too easy. I love it. Guys, you can, all of these lives will be posted on YouTube. So if you want to catch up on old lives, I think if you get the challenge and if you want to work with our group, you have to watch maybe like a few of the old lives just to understand my style of teaching and what I take up during those lives. I like to do the entries at night. Yeah, that's okay too. I would start a day or end a day with it. What I wouldn't do is I wouldn't squeeze them in between two meetings at work or something like this. Your mind has to be open either from waking up or, you know, just from the day and going to sleep. Don't do your entries and then go on YouTube or TikTok or something like this. First thing or last thing. Okay, guys, so it doesn't seem like there's any other questions. Let's put our hands together for the 369. Thank you for the roses. It's not necessary. I end up with the 369 tapping. It takes about 30 seconds. If you don't want to do it with us, then please join us again on Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. One breath. I am a winner. 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 I am a winner.